I came to this realization a long time ago on why I couldn't get the grade that I wanted, specifically in maths. It's funny because as soon as I noticed it, I started to see how it affected people around me in school, in life, in social interactions, and I wish that I had the guts to tell them, my friends, that I saw it affected by, and I wish that somebody told me this a long time ago. I still remember this event quite vividly. I was in year three, right? And we were learning about the column method for the first time. And I remember that everyone in my group just got it, understood it way faster than I did. And now I'm 16, I can say that if you don't get something the first time, that doesn't make you stupid. It just means you need it explained either in a different way or again. But in year three, I did not know this. In year three, nobody told me that. So in my little underdeveloped brain, there are a million different thoughts going through it, like you're stupid, you're dumb at maths, you're incompetent. I probably didn't know the word incompetent when I was in year three. Point being, my 8-year-old self seemed to create this belief in my head that I just couldn't do maths. Every other subject was fine, but maths was a problem, and this stuck for years. I don't think I realized this until I got into year 10, but in year 10 the standard for maths and for every other subject got significantly higher because we would have just started our GCSE courses. And there was a certain point in all of it where I was seriously falling behind compared to my other classmates, and I felt so stupid, I felt so incapable, I felt so powerless and so weak. And at that point I knew that something had to change. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, and I didn't really know what to do. So in this position of powerlessness, I went up to my maths teacher and I just very plainly told her how I felt. I think that the maths teacher that I'm talking about I had in year 10 and 11, she was probably the first person to just straight up tell me that I'm not stupid. Because I was the type of person who would ask so many questions in class just because I never got anything. And I remember just always feeling embarrassed every time I put my hand up to ask something. But she told me that a lot of the time it's like loads of people that feel that way, but I'm just the only one who was able to put my hand up at that time. And from everything that she said to me, I just took a second to ask myself, am I really that dumb at maths? Or have I just convinced myself that I am so I can prove myself right? So I can prove this belief that I've given myself right, so I can prove my circumstances and my grade that I didn't want right, even though I wanted something different. And again, I think it's really important to make a I think the word is distinction. I'm not saying that you need to completely disagree with the belief, I don't know, I am bad at maths, right? I am just asking you to introduce some kind of doubt to it. I just told myself rather, that, okay, maybe my whole life I have been told and have acted like I was bad at maths, but you've got to sit this GCSE. You don't have a choice. If I really gave myself a chance here and put all my heart, all my soul, everything that I have into this work, what is the best that I can achieve? I buckled down with maths. There was a certain point in time where every day, that's more like now at the tail end of my GCSEs, but back in year 10, it was like every week I would, on Saturday or Sunday, I would get up pretty early and then I'd just 1 hour, 30 minutes, gone, maths past paper, done. And then on top of that, I do athletics. And I tell you what, athletics is actually a really good example of my point. But in terms of my maths results, I will have to leave you on a cliffhanger here because I haven't gotten my GCSE results yet. If I have by the time you're watching this, a link will be here. However, there was a huge improvement in my mock grades, and I could see myself, I could like literally physically see myself being more open to looking for different solutions to an answer. Really difficult math questions require some thinking out of the box, but if you're literally boxing yourself in as to, you know what, I literally can't do this, so I'm not even gonna try, then you can't reach the solutions that are out of there. And I feel like that's a really good metaphor for life in general. But anyway, back to athletics. I used to be seriously unfit. Like, for example, in primary school, I distinctly will always remember that I was always the last, second to last person to get chosen on like the PE teams. You know, when the teacher's like, okay, you pick a team, you're the team captain now, and then they start picking people from the class. Yeah, I was always the last one. Part of what contributed to how unfit I was the fact that at some point within primary school, I'm pretty sure it was more earlier primary school, I was considered obese by the NHS. But, you know, that's a whole thing we're not going to get into today. I did this whole speech in Cambridge Theatre about it. If you want, you can click the link here to see it. But point being, for basically all my life, I had been told that I was a slow runner, I was unfit, I could not do athletics. Nobody wants you on their PE team. You suck. And I remember in year 10, year 10 was, now I'm thinking about it, year 10 was such a crucial period in my life. Year 10, my mental health was so bad. And I like wanted to do those things that would eventually lead me to having a better mental health. And I knew that exercise was one of them. And I'd already been exercising, but I hadn't been doing anything like a specific sport really intensely. And athletic season was coming up. So again, it was almost like an experiment for me. I want you to treat this like an experiment. For me, it was like, even though I've been told my entire life that I am awful at this, if I give myself this period of time to actually give it my everything, what is the best that I can achieve? Like I focused on 100, 200, 300 and 400 meters, and I practiced 600, but it was too much for me. I saw a huge improvement in just 2 months, like, because I was practicing on school days every weekend, and then on the holiday 2 or 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 or 3 days on, 1 day off. And from all that practice, 300 meters, in the span of 2 months, I went from 94 seconds to 60 seconds. If you're not familiar with like the 300 meter times, 94 seconds is like way like super bad. Like you're not average, and you're beyond not average. And then 60 seconds is like relatively athletic, like it's slightly better than the average girl my age. And I want to clarify that this process is not going to be easy if you do choose to do this, because that's why people just stay stuck and they don't do this. And there are loads of people that just have this identity of, I am bad at X, I am bad at Y, why should I even try? That rhymed. But the people who overcome this have decided that the discomfort of staying where they are was too much, and they'd rather face the discomfort of trying to overcome it. That's why I'm saying this is not an easy process. If I give the example of maths, it was almost like I wouldn't try hard, because every time I would try hard, it would just be too much emotional strain for me to continue, and I didn't want to have to put myself through that. It was easier to admit failure and just put my hands up than to struggle more than other people who already get this stuff to try and get this stuff. And I really regret not telling other people when I saw this with them. And people of all ages deal with it, whether you're younger or older. And even though I didn't have the guts to tell them, and even though I couldn't tell my younger self, I hope this video acts as some kind of checkpoint or realization point that could help you on your journey. I think the issue is that simply realizing this alone usually isn't enough to get where you need to be or do what you want to do. I feel like it's a combination of lots of other factors, and a lot of these other factors I discuss in this video here. I think I'm going to put it here. Thank you so much for watching, and don't make the same mistakes I did.